Once upon a timepiece, there sat an ordinary fly. Now, this fly wasn't bothering anyone. He wasn't even trying to find out what time it was. But the timepiece happened to be a sundial that stood in a king's garden, and the king was averse to flies.
Gotcha!
The poor fly was imprisoned in a Leyden jar, and each day at sunset, the king would pay his captor a visit.
This'll teach you to sit on my sundial.
To the king's surprise, the fly spoke.
Let me go, O sire, and I will grant you a wish.
Gadzooks, it speaks.
Release me, and you can have anything.
Anything?
Well, I'm only a fly. Make it within reason.
Just then, the king's royal minister entered the room.
Your subjects are at it again, my liege. These signs were stuck in the moat.
Help stamp out kings. Down with highnesses. Who is responsible for this?
No one knows.
Obviously. A group of radicals are upset with my tyrannical way of ruling.
I'll see if I can get their names, sire.
If only I could overhear those rascals when they're plotting.
You can.
I could if I were a fly.
Lo, the fly in the jar waved a wing, and the king was transformed.
I can fly! I can fly!
The fly in the jar was given his freedom, and the king quickly took off for the village square, which is where the village squares usually congregated.
The king is a fink.
Be careful. The walls have ears.
The walls didn't have ears, but they did have flies, one in particular with a crown on his head.
I still say the king is a fink.
The following day, the Finksayer was brought to the castle in chains.
So you admit that you called me a fink?
Yeah, I do, but I don't understand how you found out.
By the end of the month, the radicals were filling the castle dungeons to capacity, all because the king was able to change himself into a fly and overhear the plots against him.
Congratulations, Your Highness. Your kingdom is completely under your iron hand.
Now, this particular king was loaded with bad characteristics, including avarice, or greed, if you prefer.
Tell me, Minister, that kingdom across the river, is it larger or smaller than mine?
Larger, your wickedness.
Then I must have it.
So saying, he called upon the king who ruled the kingdom across the river.
Nice kingdom you got here.
We like it.
I don't suppose you'd care to sell it.
No, I wouldn't.
How about a trade?
It was then that a lofty tower caught the evil king's eye.
What do you keep up there?
Just my daughter. She was locked in there by a witch about a month and a half ago.
Uh-huh. Her name wouldn't be Rapunzel, would it?
No, Betty.
How come you don't let her out?
She can only be freed by the man she'll marry, and like that.
What else does a man get, besides her?
An autographed picture of Key Luke.
Anything else?
Just my kingdom.
That was all the wicked king needed to know. That night, when the moon was high in the sky, which is a good place for it, he set a ladder against the tower and started up.
Not only am I ruthless, but I happen to be unavoidably attractive.
It's true, he had a fatal fascination as far as princesses locked in towers were concerned.
She'll take one look at my handsome features, and we'll be wed tomorrow.
He was so enraptured with himself that he neglected to notice the ladder was far too short to reach the tower window. He not only reached the top rung, but took 2 more rung steps above it, which was the wrong thing to do any way you look at it.
I have it. I'll pole vault up.
Entering a copse of bamboo trees which grew in abundance near the river, he selected a supple sapling and readied himself.
This should be apple pie.
It was. He took off like a deer and launched himself upward. Up and up he soared directly into the tower window and out of the window on the other side.
I can't keep this up forever.
Suddenly, from a nearby rosebush came the familiar voice of the enchanted fly.
You know, I could sit here all night and watch you. You're funny.
Take care. I don't ridicule easily.
No offense, but couldn't you get up into the tower a lot easier if you changed into a fly?
Great gobs of goo. You're right.
An instant later, the king was a fly and quickly zoomed up into the tower. Once inside, he changed back to himself and cried to the princess.
Darling!
Sweetie!
The princess was anything but beautiful.
Gad, I wouldn't marry her for all the kingdoms in the world.
Once again, he became a fly, and off he darted over the river back to his castle. But in his haste, he decided to fly through the village. What's more, he took a shortcut through a tailor's shop.
7! I killed 7 with 1 blow.
Yes, this was a gallant little tailor. And although it was the end of the king, it was the beginning of another tale. But, oh dear, we don't have any time for that now.